Hi, welcome to this tutorial. Once you have cut out all of your pieces, like I have on the table here, to make our apron, you would need to get your herringbone tape, and you need to cut 19 inches, fold it in half, and then fold it over your small front panel piece, or your bottom front panel piece, and I've chosen the patterned fabric, so you can see here that that's clipped in place, and that's going to be top stitch across in a moment. Then your middle panel, you're going to do exactly the same. Obviously I've used a plain fabric on this one and have clipped the herringbone tape together, so this one we're also going to sew across the top there and attach that in place. And then your back panel, which is the pattern one here, I have marked 5 inches in from the edge and just clipped in place my 2-inch bit of herringbone tape. And when we stitch this one, we're just going to move it down, and you're going to stitch it roughly about 1.5 inches away from the top panel here, and you're going to stitch across here. Then we're going to fold that back to the top of the fabric here, and that's going to create our loop when we come to tie our apron together. Okay, so I'm going to go to the machine and do those 3 things, and I'll see you back here in a second. Right, so I've just finished sewing those 3 things. I'm just going to show you this one up close. So this is my main back panel, and I have got sewn on the 2-inch herringbone tape, and you can see we've sewn across the top here, and I pinned it in place. That's 1.5 inches down and roughly 5 inches in. And you can see we're going to put that up to the top, and when we sew this all together later, that will create the loophole for our apron string to go through. Okay, so that's that one complete. Also done the top stitching on the middle panel, just going to go across, and the lower panel. So what we need to do now is we need to sew this panel and this panel together, and we're going to do a top stitch all the way across up to here and back again. Okay, so it's only going to be those 2 panels. I'll see you back in a minute. Right, so I've just sewn those 2 panels together, as you can see here. We've got the join going along here, so that's going to make the pockets in our aprons. We've got 3 pockets here, and then we'll have a large pocket in the midsection here. So the next stage is going to be to turn the loops up, and you might need to just pin those in place so they don't go back down. And also add on our apron strands. So that's going to go to one edge here, and I'm going to put mine 1/2 inch down from the top, and the same this side. And I'm going to pin those ones in place. Now, just with the excess cord, I'm just going to tuck that into one of the pockets out the way. make sure it's all nice and flat and put these back in place. So that's all lined up. You're going to get your back panel and place it over the whole of this, and we're going to clip this in place, and we're going to sew over our loop join here. I'm going to start there, go all the way round down the back, up the side here, across here, leaving about a 4-inch gap here to turn through my fabric, and then I can do the top stitch on here afterwards. Okay, I'll see you back in a minute. Right, so we've just sewn all the way around the edge here, leaving about 4 inches for this to turn through. Before I turn it through, I just want to take off the pins, and we want to just trim our excess off and our corners. So I'm just going to snip across the corners here just to take the bulk away. And then snip away any excess fabric. Okay, I'm not going to trim any on my opening side here, just so that I'll have enough to be able to press it over to do the top stitching. So we're going to carefully turn this through. Remember, we've got some pins in here, so you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this over to the iron, and we're going to give it a really good press. But I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out at the moment. We're going to press around the seam lines, and then we're going to make sure that we tuck in our open edge like so, and we'll press it and then do your top stitch between your 2 loop panels, and then we'll be done. Okay, so as you can see, I am wearing the apron. I've got my pockets here, 3 at the front and then a middle one here. And to finish off, we have got our loopholes here that the apron's gone through. We did the top stitching along here between the 2 loops, and the final thing that I added was turning over the end here so it doesn't fray, and sewing across the top there. So hope you enjoy your apron and get a lot of use out of it. See you next time.